She's all right when you get to know her. This is my podcast, and it takes you from your restrictive, toxic, life-limiting 9 to 5 into a life on your terms, full of freedom and flexibility as a self-employed virtual assistant. So whether this is your first introduction into the possibility of becoming a VA, or perhaps you've been doing a bit of Googling already, I'm going to get rid of the overwhelm, rid of the self-doubt, and show you that this life is possible. I've not just started this rodeo, you know. I'm Catherine Gladwyn, and I've been doing what you think is impossible since 2015. Shall we get started? I'm recording this bit the day after recording the podcast because I've just gone through and edited it and realised that I didn't even introduce my guest. We just got straight into it. So today, in this episode, I'm joined by Rebecca Shipton. And as the episode goes through, you'll find out more about her. I hope you enjoy it. I've hit record in case we get any beauties.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. This is really cool, though. I've never done anything like this before.
And it's brilliant.
Yeah.
This software is called Alitu. So if you start your own podcast, I really do recommend it because you can edit it in here and it's just great.
Wow.
There's even a button that takes out the ums.
Really? Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
So I really do want to thank you. I mean, it was one of your goals, you said, to be on a podcast in 2025. And I kept seeing you pop up on my thing and I thought, she just keeps talking to me. You're just authentic. Honestly, you're just authentic on social media. And it's so hard for so many people to do that. And I thought, I need you on my podcast. And I thought, not in a million years did I think you'd say you would. So I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Oh, well, no, thank you. As you say, it is really weird because I literally did write. I was going through my achievements of the past year. And, you know, I've been lucky enough to be part of the Pretty Little Marketer community blog.
Yeah.
I have done talks for Adobe and things which were kind of like unexpected little achievements this year. And then so upon reflection, I was like, okay, well, what else do I want to do?
What's left?
Yeah, being on a podcast was one of the. I think I wrote 3 extra points. Being on a podcast, get invited to a marketing event of some sort of prominence.
I reckon there could be. You have just got that energy, the right tenacity, and you come across so confident that it's a thing that so many of the people that I'm lucky to go on the VA journey with that would just take off you, that would want, you know, some advice on how to do that, and they would pay for that, you know, because it's just so hard. And as we go through this podcast, there's some highs, there's some lows, and there's some fun bits. But straight in to say, you know, I've already thanked you, Rebecca, for coming in. You've mentioned that you're part of the Pretty Little Marketer team. You're one of their virtual columnists. You've spoken on stage for Adobe. You've worked with Gymshark. You're a mentor at the Fashion Retail Academy in London. And I've just seen, actually, that you're a judge for some social media awards. But I'm not happy about that because you should really be nominated for something like that, yeah?
That is, to be fair, another one of the 2025 achievements to hopefully be, you know, appointed with some sort of award or recognition. But yeah, there's a lot going on at the moment, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I put on my notes, you know, everything that you're doing, where do you get your energy? Because the rest of us have only got 24 hours in our day. You know, how do you manage everything? Have you just got a great Asana board or how are you doing it all?
So, yeah, it's really interesting that you say, you know, we've all only got the 24 hours in a day. I think it was Molly May that kind of first came up with that phrase, but I actually, it might be an unpopular opinion, but I don't actually like that phrase because I think it does completely disregard so many factors as to what makes someone themselves.
Oh, you are so right.
So, I mean, I do part of my content on LinkedIn, and I feel like I still need, and I do think this conversation is also going to inspire a lot more LinkedIn posts as well. Um, but I think like I do try to keep it like raw and real on LinkedIn, because I think social media in general, it's very much like supposed to be a highlight reel.
Mm.
Um, and I think it's sometimes really easy to like to look at my LinkedIn profile still. And yes, okay, I might have funny posts here which are a bit more, relatable here and there. But just to put it into context at the moment, where I'm talking to you from right now, I'm in my spare room, and my spare room is filled with things all over the place, from books from an old job to things that I haven't yet uploaded on Vinted, and my desk absolutely covered in there's multiple drinks on the desk. So even though it might look like I've got loads of things going on and everything like all together, my flat is definitely like a mess at the moment.
I couldn't resonate any more with you. I mean, I love watching the Gladiators. The season's just finished now, but we've named me the accumulator because I will often that would be my gladiator name, because I will often be sat here. I'm in my bedroom now. I'm sat in my window. I've got a lovely chair in my window, and I accumulate. I go downstairs for more food and more drinks, but I don't take the other cups and bottles down and the plates. So come the end of the day, I've accumulated. You've got to sometimes just let things go, haven't you? Those things on
Yeah.
Vinted can definitely wait, because having to go to the post office once you've sold them is a right ball ache.
Honestly, yeah. Obviously, it's not like a constant. My flat isn't always constantly like this. It does definitely feel like it's like it more often than not. But at the same time, I think time on Earth is very short. And would I rather be, enjoying myself, or would I rather be, I don't know, as you say,
Oh,
taking my many parcels to the post office to send?
100%. It is about enjoying as much as you can. And I resonate completely with that 24 hours, with everybody's being different, because I mean, I opened up to you and I said about my chronic health issues, and you opened up to me as well about some mental health issues that you'd had. So tomorrow or one day next week, your 24 hours, one of those days might not exist, because you're having to nurture yourself and take time out and to just reset, if you like, and allow
Exactly.
some space around you. Are you able to talk about how you cope with that? What sort of things came up,
Yeah, so I mean, with my mental health, it's one of those things where it's like I so have you ever heard of PMDD?
Oh, I did. I heard about it on maths.
So it's a premenstrual dysphoric disorder, and I was diagnosed with that. When was it now? I think it was 3 years ago. No, 2 years ago. Yeah, 2023. And essentially it's PMS, but imagine PMS on crack, basically, on
Oh.
steroids. It's the week before your period that essentially you become a completely different person. Vicky Pattinson, who I forget what show she was on, but she was on
Oh,
a
Geordie
reality
Shore?
show.
Was
Yes,
it?
I
Yeah?
think it was. Yes, yeah. I'm pretty sure it was. She's a big advocate for, because essentially she's been diagnosed with it as well, and she's very big on sharing her story and spreading awareness. But it essentially makes you feel like a completely different person, and you might have a day where you're like, I can't be bothered to do anything at all, but
Yeah.
it's literally like that for a week, but to the point where you can't even fathom, and you get I mean I get overwhelmed with decision overload anyway.
Yeah.
Um but it's just it's very hard, and some of the symptoms as well are, a little bit darker. So it's not just about the emotional reactions that you have, which can appear irrational to other people, but
Mm.
it's often coupled with, thoughts of, this is obviously trigger warning, but suicide,
Uh-huh.
um which l- I think there's also like a stigma around that anyway, because a lot of people think that, you can't can't talk to a suicidal person about suicide, and it's not necessarily, oh, I want to hurt myself in any way. It's more about like, I can't do this, or I don't want
Yeah.
to do this.
Yeah.
So that is something that I do struggle with, and I am lucky that I suppose I have a great support network around me. Like my
Oh,
boyfriend
good.
is phenomenal, and I'm really lucky to have him because I've definitely been with a person before that was nowhere near as understanding, and to the point kind of made it out like that it was my fault, even though
Oh,
obviously it's not,
yeah.
because I'm not in
Oh, well,
control of
well, well
everything.
done for recognizing that, because if you've got
Yeah,
things in your past, if your mum had been with somebody like that who didn't have the right empathy or the ability to have empathy, then you could have just thought, well, yeah, it is me. I'm going to stay with this. So,
exactly. Yeah,
God, the strength
exactly.
there.
Yeah, yeah. So,
So
yeah,
can I ask a couple of questions about it? Because it's fascinating.
yeah,
Because,
of course, yeah.
I mean, that, like I said, the first time I heard about it was on Married at First Sight. This one of the best contestants on there. She was so lovely, but the guy that she was matched with, he couldn't cope with the PMDD.
Right.
sh- I just wondered, does she, or do you know that you're acting differently or thinking differently, or does it all seem normal and rational to you in that week before your period?
I think it's always hard to see the wood through the trees.
Mm,
And so I think at the time, it even though it's kind of like someone else is in the driver's seat of your mind, if that
mm,
makes sense. So you
yeah.
can see it all happening, and you know that you're reacting in a way that doesn't make sense, but you do it anyway. So it does kind of feel like you don't have control
Wow.
over it, and then in hindsight, after a while, you might take a breather and you'll be like, "Oh, actually, that's not how I wanted to react," or
So, while your brain would automatically usually respond perhaps to a situation with kindness or something,
exactly,
there's this
yeah,
other thing in front of you pushing you back and saying, "No, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do it this way." And
yeah,
they've done it. It's and you say that's for a week before. Now, when you want to enjoy life or you're on holiday, a week goes really quickly. But when your life is affected, when your normal is affected and your quality of life is affected, and I would imagine, Rebecca, carrying around guilt when you've got the reflection time, not that you need to, but we just automatically do that. That week can seem like a long time. And I can understand how your state of mind to feelings of wanting to just get out of this life can come about. I can completely understand that. It must be
yeah.
so hard.
Yeah, it is it definitely I've had points where I've been really low, and obviously it does also kind of, depend on what you've got going on around you. So some
Mhm.
weeks have been I'll have weeks where I'm like, gosh, like, and I mean, there's not much research behind PDMD, I can't even say it myself, PMDD. There's not much like research as there isn't in just, women's health in general as to why
Mm.
these things happen and what causes it. But I will have weeks where I think, gosh, I don't have this anymore, or maybe the meds are finally working. But then I
Oh,
will have other weeks where I'm like, "Oh my god." I had one recently as well where, I'd gotten to a really low point, and I was saying to my boyfriend that I've got XYZ and I'm stressing about it, and I was having, like, almost feeling like I was gonna have a panic attack and have, like, a little mini breakdown, and he was just like, "Just get yourself packed up and down to me, and I'll look after you." And I know not everyone that goes through PMDD will have that. Like,
mm,
not everyone will have someone to be able to rely on, so I can appreciate it is really, really hard if they don't.
yeah.
Um, but of course there are other ways to kind of manage it as well, and it's just the same old usual stuff, like eat well, exercise, get enough sleep. But I feel like sometimes it's not always enough. At least
No, and people
possibly.
that eat well, people that get enough sleep, people that exercise, they still get poorly.
Yeah,
Um, it's yeah, it's when you're not your normal self, when you're feeling so bad, you just got to try and get through it. You
yeah,
just got to do everything you can to get through it. And I just want to say, if there is anybody that's just been diagnosed or you've got anything else going on that's kind of affected how you're seeing life and you don't feel that you've got anyone that understands, that supports you, then I recommend perhaps texting or calling or whatever you find easiest via the Samaritans to see what help is out there, because I've had dark moments myself, and I think the word that I say to myself when I'm there is just the four-letter word hope. W
mm,
That's what keeps us going. There's hope that things will get better, that it won't happen again, that perhaps they will find new drugs to help with certain things. So,
yeah.
yeah, I
That's a
really
really
appreciate
nice.
you sharing that. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's okay. I was just going to say that's a really nice kind of approach, like with the word hope. I was speaking about it with, because I mean I'm working with a PT at the moment, but I might pause it for a little bit. But anyway, we were speaking about what to do if I do start to feel in a panic. And she did kind of say something similar, but instead of like the word hope, she does just imagine like a big stop sign in her mind. And then that will help her calm down.
We sometimes look at the bigger picture and think, I'm not going to get there because I'm stuck here. But
Yeah.
yeah, it is one step at a time. Now, I hope you feel okay after sharing that, because I know how exhausting it can be. So are you okay to continue? Because
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah. I'm pretty open about these things, but yeah, I appreciate you checking in and asking.
no, not at all. Because I want to sort of change the mood a little bit and let people know about your recent accolade. I
Ah,
want
yes.
Yeah. So let me get this right. I think it was just 3 weeks ago now, so it's quite new, and I'm sure not many people in the public, so this is kind of like an exclusive. Rebecca was voted, listen carefully, LinkedIn Polluter, yes, Polluter, March 2025, along with about 30 other people, I think. Rebecca, what the hell?
Yeah, there's just some people out there that, don't like what I've got to say because
Yeah, but
yeah,
this was from so Rebecca went viral. The last time I looked at it was about like 8,500 likes or something.
something like
And
that, yeah.
yeah, and I actually did a word count, right? And that post that went viral, all it's not even got a picture. It's got 1,026 letter A's and one H. And that's what got you voted LinkedIn polluter. Am I right?
Yeah, and props to you for finding out how many A's there were in that post because I genuinely had no idea. I just kept pressing the buttons until I felt like I'd got it all out. And to be honest, I don't know I don't know how it went viral really. I scheduled it for, like, my day off. I actually forgot that this scheduled scream as such was going to go live,
Brilliant.
and I opened my notifications, and I ironically probably just felt exactly like the post that, I'd posted. Um, but I was just like, "Oh, okay, like, people are engaging with it." I just kinda left it. I don't know at which point during the day it then snowballed. Um it is mad because, as you say, it's won me an accolade, I suppose, this year.
Yeah.
Um,
Which
I'm
you've
hoping.
also put in your headline,
Yes,
worst LinkedIn polluter March 2025 is now part of Rebecca's headline.
yes, yes, I'm hoping I get to add the April edition as well. I'll be looking out for it. But it is mad because it's also inspired, like, other people to create similar posts. Jet2, for example, as well, the
Yes.
brand kind of hijacked it, which I was thinking about this earlier actually, because, like, there's been a lot of conversation between me and my network about people who, like, copy and take inspiration and don't give proper credit and all of that stuff, and I think there's an ongoing conversation on LinkedIn. I definitely saw another post about it moments before I joined the studio, but Yeah, it's an interesting one anyway. But since writing that post, I've had lots of impressions, lots of followers, which is great, and all these other kind of opportunities, this podcast included. And I'm not saying the post caused all of those good things, but I think it just makes it even more, I guess, fulfilling for me, because obviously to have someone to actually point the finger at me and say, you shouldn't be doing that. But then I've got all of these other things going on.
All of the positives, yeah. And do you know, we were having a conversation yesterday in my Facebook group. I run a Facebook group for virtual assistants,
Yeah.
and a conversation came up yesterday about being professional. Let me just find my note on it. Okay. So there was a conversation yesterday in my group about being yourself in communications. And I think we can clearly see that on yours, that you on LinkedIn, that you are yourself. And
Yeah.
whether you should be, in inverted commas, I'm putting this, professional. I mean, there's what I'm not asking, I'm hypothetically asking, like, what is professional? I mean, I mentioned that me personally, I'm quite incapable of fluffing things up. When I first emailed you, I had to just really think about what I was putting, because all I wanted to put was, "Oh my God, you're brilliant. Will you come on my podcast?" And I thought, no, I need to sell it to her in some way. And when I was employed, I received some, again, in inverted commas, feedback. And this guy had said, I need to be a bit more flowery in my emails, instead of just putting, "Can you do this for me,
Yeah.
please?" I always put a please. So what I started doing was just adding a flower name to the end of the emails. So it's like, "Can you do this for me, please, tulip?" Or like bluebell or something like that. It's just, but uh, also going back to the post in my Facebook group, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, well, I start off professional with a client, um,
Yeah.
then I become myself." And I'm a real advocate for being yourself straight away. Don't mean go straight in and call somebody a "see you next Tuesday" or something like
Yeah.
that, if that's
Yeah.
part of your
No.
repertoire. But, you know, I used to start my emails with "yo," and yeah, it's just like, what are your thoughts on that? On, because you work in a freelance world, tell me. I'd love to know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, so I'm very much for being yourself. Absolutely. I mean, obviously, you do have to. It's a weird one, because I have worked in both environments that have been, you know, let's go with the Gymshark example, where that culture, best culture I've ever had working in. Everyone knows the line. So like you can have a laugh, you can have that bit of banter, but also you're gonna get shit done,
Right.
because you're all aligned with the same mission, you all believe in the business and the brand, and you just want to make good work, basically.
Yeah.
And then I've been in other kind of scenarios where it's just more of than anything, it's probably like a cultural thing and like ways of working, which has been like really interesting to kind of, I guess, learn about and kind of learn how to adapt to. There'd be other areas that are a bit more, not, I wouldn't say that it's professional, but just reined in, very cold, straightforward, to the point.
Yeah.
Everything needs to be in Asana or Atlassian, Jira, all of that stuff, and not much time for pleasantries. But
Mm.
as you say, like from my LinkedIn content, I feel like I am gonna be definitely more receptive to the people that bring a little bit of uniqueness and a bit of them to the
Wow.
message. I got a LinkedIn request from, I can't remember his name now, but this guy sent me a request today, and he basically just said, "You're pretty good at this social media stuff." And I just said, and in response, I was like, "Thank you. I might consider doing it full time." Um, and then he was like, "Oh, I hear they hand over cash if you do that, big amounts of cash or whatever." And I just said, "Haha, that must be a myth." So like, I think interactions like that, they stand out against all of the, "Hi, hope your email finds you well." And I'm like,
Oh.
chances are the email is not finding me well. So
Oh my God. It's one of my biggest bugbears.
it's like what I said earlier, life is too short. What's wrong with just like adding a little bit of laughter here and there?
Mm.
And I think, as I say, it's just the ones that do bring that personality truly stand out.
Talking along the professional lines, just so my words aren't taken out of context, I'm not, to the listeners, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be professional, that you should just drop all professionalism, but
Of course.
ensure that you're adding your own self to things. That is the kind of enlightening moment when you are your own boss, when you become a virtual assistant. You can be yourself. You don't have to worry that you're going to upset Janet in accounts, or
Exactly.
you can you can bring your humor, your uniqueness, because you are unique. And it helps to draw people in, like Rebecca said about the message that she had from the guy today wanting to connect. It brings people in that get you, that aren't gonna be toxic. And that's, I know, is what a lot of people that listen to this podcast that want to get away from their 9 to 5, they're in toxic environments. So it helps with that, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. And what a thought that helps me kind of get through that as well. It is okay if you're not everyone's cup of tea, because I'm not a cup of tea. I'm a iced matcha latte. Like, not everyone is going to like me, but that doesn't stop other people loving me and me loving myself. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I love that. No, brilliant. It is a big thing, isn't it? Because you do want to please other people. You don't want to have negativity around you, but it
Yeah.
it, it really is impossible to make everybody love you, if you
Yeah.
like. So I am just looking at my questions.
I love the questions, by the way.
Oh, good. Oh, I am glad. I like to send them in advance so that I don't
Yeah, no, that's definitely I've to be fair, I did a little student podcast thing. It wasn't a real podcast. It was
so
just
you cheated on me.
no, 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 no. It wasn't a real podcast. So
Okay,
don't
okay,
worry.
okay.
It's
I'm
not
noting
it's not going anywhere.
that.
It was just for the students' work. And I thought, oh gosh, like I could have benefited from having the questions before, but as I say, she was a student and it's all, all good. All good.
Now, there's something that we've already sort of talked about mental health and going viral and all these notifications and things like that, and sometimes we've talked about the positives of the going viral, but there can sometimes be a fine line between getting lots of comments, putting yourself out there, and it not being a positive experience. Now, I don't in any way want to put people off doing social media, so I'm just trying to word this properly. And uh, sometimes you will get people that think their opinions need to be shared, and sometimes you see some god awful things on LinkedIn, on Facebook, anywhere. I mean, just last week, a woman called Pat, she'd put a nasty comment on a celebrity's post. And I just said to her, why have you put that there? This person's human. It
Mm,
can really affect somebody. And she was just like, well, if you put yourself out there, you got to expect it. But
yeah.
it's not, and it can affect you. Do you have any tips on how? Because I'm sure you've had it. I mean, that LinkedIn polluter. First of all, it must have you may have thought like, what the hell? What have I done wrong? Do you have any tips on how to deal with it, or what do you do?
Yeah, so I think there is, like, as annoying as Pat is, I think it's not that you should expect criticism, because you shouldn't ever go onto social media being like, I'm going to look for someone to criticize today.
Yeah.
But because it is such a big public space and anyone can have a say, you are bound to 9 times out of 10, like, come across, well, no, the 1 times out of 10 you're going to come across someone that might disagree with you or have a slight different opinion. But that's the same in an office environment, right? You're not going to like well, if you do like everyone at work, you're very lucky. And I just think, from my perspective, I think I've been quite lucky because obviously having to work in social media, you do get a lot of people just like, whether it would be people disagreeing with when we made a stance about, actually, I'm not going to use Gymshark as an example because I always use Gymshark as an example. But for example, with Flow, when Roe v. Wade was overturned, you'd get a lot of people kind of saying that it's a good thing and that, like abortions, it gets into a bigger debate of whether, abortions should be available to women or not.
Yeah.
And I think you just kind of, as long as you like stay true to your values and you're not kind of going against what you believe and any promises that you make, I think you can't really go wrong. But I guess in terms of tips, I'd probably say you could literally do devil's advocate and think about every single possible scenario and be like, this is the perfect post. No one's going to have a problem with this. But then there will be some cockroach in the crack somewhere that's going to take your well-intended, light-hearted post with a fist of salt and then just start hating on it.
When I first started in business, I was very much in fight mode, and it's nothing to do with me being in business. It's just to do with my background kind of thing.
Yeah.
I was always ready to protect myself even when I didn't need to. And I learned the hard way that while it does hurt when somebody is nasty, it's easier to get over if you don't engage with them. Because as much as you want to get your point across, they want to get theirs across as well. And it's not a one-to-one conversation where people act themselves because they're aware that there's an audience around them. And it's like anything. If you're telling a joke and people start laughing like a kid, if a kid does something funny and somebody laughs, they keep bloody doing it. You keep doing it if the audience are reacting in such a way that releases your dopamine. So, if you do come across, instances like that, and you may well do the longer that you're in business, my recommendation is to tell somebody, but tell somebody that isn't someone that enjoys drama, that's going to say to you, look, let's leave it. Let's watch Netflix, or let's have a virtual coffee, or, let's just WhatsApp about things and let's just ignore it. Let's delete the comment and we can forget it as quick as possible, because as sooner it's out of your mind, you can focus on other things. So, but also I think as well, it's good to acknowledge that it did make you feel shit, but do have people around you that you can talk to, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it is a tough one because I think people are always going to say something regardless of the intent and everything. But I think normally one of the sayings that I really like is that people only try and bring you down if you're above them. So, I guess it's very much a mindset thing and just trying to believe in yourself and
believe in yourself. Absolutely. Now, we've touched briefly that you are one of the first 7 virtual columnists for Sophie Miller, Pretty Little Marketer.
Yes.
Well, huge congratulations for that.
Thank you.
I only found one of your articles so far because it's still a new venture. So I don't know. There were quite a few on there, and I don't know how many you've written, but I was immediately drawn to your one. What was it? Are we all? Was it? It wasn't titled "Are we all going to die because of AI"? Was it?
No, it wasn't titled that.
I've written that.
But, it's basically I think it was something along the lines of the Instagram feature that creeped me out, and it was an AI feature that it's basically a bots feature that you can create your own AI bot and have chats with it. And I tested it out in the article, and I basically wanted to make me, but as my Pretty Little Marketer columnist self. And the conversation I had was just like, it was convinced that it was a real person, and it denied basically that it was AI. So I was like, this is not good.
So it's for people to talk to themselves?
Well, I think I can't remember if a brand has done it already yet, but if you go onto the feature, you can basically find any kind of bot. For example, someone has made a bot as if it's a gladiator, so you can have a conversation with a gladiator or your pet dog or Chun-Li from Street Fighter.
Mm.
There's all sorts on there. Some are kind of weird, which I guess you can imagine the kind of people that might be using them. But yeah, essentially that. But you can create your own as well and publish it if you want to.
I'm just thinking about, Chat GPT, you can have a conversation in there as well. And
Yeah.
because I every time I put a request into Chat GPT, I have to put please. And I have
Oh,
to.
I'm the same. I'm the same. I often have conversations with Siri as well and like say thank you and like you're the best. You never know.
Yes. Or I'll say to Alexa, make the corner lamp 60%, and she'll do it, and then she'll go, by the way, I can tell you what the weather's going to be. Oh, I didn't ask. I just wanted the light on.
Have you have you ever asked her if she's your friend?
No.
I won't spoil it, but just give it a go
What
when
about Google? Does Google do that? Let me ask Google. Hold on. I've got a Google in here. We got Alexa downstairs. Okay, Google, are you my friend?
Of course we're friends. You're my hero, and I like to think of myself as your trusty sidekick.
Did you hear that?
yeah.
I'm a hero.
Alexa sings you a song.
Oh no.
Yeah, she I can't remember what it is, but I remember asking it. Oh, this is getting really deep now, and really, I think, gives an insight into my life. Like asking an AI, what's it called, AI speaker, if she's my friend. Um, but yeah, she sings a song, and it's quite cringe, and then it makes you regret asking. So yeah,
Mine probably won't hear. I think mine has got selective deafness, just like my boyfriend. But
yeah.
yeah, I think they're conspiring against me.
My dad's got that as well. Yeah.
Oh, for goodness! Well, my dad had it as well for years, and as soon as he got dementia, he forgot that he had it, and he could
Oh.
hear everything.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, he's been totally putting it on. But look, before I let you go, I wondered if it would be okay to maybe get some tips for my new and aspiring VAs, even if it's just one tip, or maybe just give them a challenge, something to break them out of their comfort zone. Absolutely anything you want. I've just sprung that on you, so I do apologise.
No, that's okay. I think creating your own posts and content can seem a little bit daunting, but I think something that, and I do enjoy doing this just because I like making people laugh and making people smile or,
Yeah,
feel any sort of emotion really. And one way of doing that is by commenting on other people's content.
yeah.
So I think what could be really helpful is if you're thinking about posting your own content on your page, but you don't know where to start and you can't, you just can't force yourself to post. I think interacting with other people's content kind of takes away the scariness of it because once you're putting yourself out there into other people's spaces, then you kind of get more confident each time, I would say.
Yeah.
So I'd say like just interact with other people's content and don't force the comment, and absolutely just on the conversation of AI, do not use AI to
Oh
like put
no.
comment because everyone can tell and well, not everyone hates it, but a lot of people in my network, we roll our eyes when we see an AI comment.
Yeah.
I saw one the other day that still included, like, when it says, of course, here's a XYZ of what you asked, and then it puts the answer. They'd copied that bit as well in the comment. Um,
No, I mean, you also know as well when somebody's commenting on yours with AI because
yeah,
I usually reply with, "Are you using AI?" And then it
yeah,
never comes back with anything.
exactly. Yeah.
But
So don't
that's
don't comment just for the sake of it and don't force a comment. But if you see a post and something instantly comes to your mind, do it and make that connection and add value because that
and
will be how it starts.
and I've just thought of something. I mean, never think that your comment's going to be a nuisance because the person that's
Exactly.
written that post welcomes as many comments as possible.
Exactly. Even if they are calling you the worst polluter of March, but it's all good.
Now, Rebecca, I promised that this would last like 30 minutes. I honestly could talk to you all day.
Likewise, to be fair.
Say again.
Likewise.
Oh, well, maybe we should do a part 2.
Oh, yeah. If the people want that, then yeah.
Oh,
I'd be
yeah,
up.
I reckon they will. They're just a brilliant, lovely bunch. But before anybody, this is really important for my listeners. Please, and please, don't send a connection request to Rebecca. Just hit the follow button because otherwise she will be absolutely inundated with DAs and they're not her demographic. So just hit the follow button and please just do that for me because I've been in trouble before with people sending them over to LinkedIn and I get a DM saying, have you put an announcement somewhere about me?
Oh, God. Oh, gosh. Yeah, no, I appreciate that, but
Yeah.
always happy to have a comment on a post and things like that. So.
Brilliant. You're just brilliant. Honestly, it's been a real pleasure. And yeah, everybody that's listening, this is always released on a Sunday. So yes, Sundays are actually a good day for commenting because people are getting back into things. So
Yeah.
spend your evening while you're watching Antiques Roadshow, commenting on people's posts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Same, like I've loved it, and as you say, I could genuinely just keep talking.
Now enjoy your weekend.
You too. Thank you very much, Catherine. Take care.
If you're ready to reclaim your independence, then subscribe to this podcast because there is so much I'm going to give you. You've got to subscribe on your favourite channel, it says. What channel? Is it? I ain't going to be on the BBC, am I?